In this video, I've decided to make Mario Kart with insane graphics. If you've seen some of my latest videos, I've been giving amazing graphics to video games, and that's exactly what I did in this video. Please stick around because I made some of the coolest environments. This is how it all started. Mario and Bowser were in an extremely intense battle. It was going on and on, but Mario couldn't save the day. And when Mario was exactly where Bowser wanted him, he hit the button, which unlocked the floor and sent Mario away. Bowser then took the princess and split the key up into 5 different pieces, scattering them across the world. The only way to save the princess would be to retrieve all the pieces of the key and defeat Bowser. But Mario was left with nothing but him and his cart. He'd have to start from the very beginning. And that's where our story begins. But Mario couldn't just ride on the usual tracks to get to the key shards, because simply, they aren't there. Let's not forget that there is still a whole world out there. We're gonna have to break some rules. Prepare yourself because these places are absolutely some of the best environments I've ever made. I'm not even kidding. I don't know if you know, but it's been a whole 32 years and we've never seen Mario Kart with better graphics than this. That's insane. I would think by now we'd see something like this, but I've looked online and what did I see? Absolutely nothing. There was not a single video I could find of Mario Kart with realistic graphics at all. I had to do Nintendo a favor and show them what this could be like.
Fortnite battle.
And what I made will definitely blow your minds. Just watch to find out. Mario wasn't going alone though. I was going to guide Mario and you guys on this adventure. And because of my love for the princess, I wanted to help Mario out. So without further ado, Mario hopped onto his cart and started on his journey. The pieces were spread across these 5 areas. We would need to collect all of them to reform the full key. Only then will we be able to head back to Bowser, get back into his fortress, and fate isn't even decided there. We still have to defeat Bowser and retrieve the princess. This is not going to be easy. The location of the first piece is located somewhere in the jungle. Way to start off easy. The problem is, although jungles look super cool, I don't like anything else about them. Not only am I deathly afraid of grass, but the amounts of plants in these environments are just insane. To make this, I had to trust my computer would be strong enough to handle such a task. First, I blocked out the environment I was going to create. I found a really cool model online of a Donkey Kong ancient ruins looking environment from a track that was from an old Japanese arcade course. It's crazy that I even stumbled across this, but I was really excited to see how this would look with revamped graphics. Once I imported that in, I started by swapping the poles with better models and textures. I later changed the brick textures of the temple and even gave it some vines with leaves. I then worked on the outside environment, which I could not have been more happy with. I also added a couple of ruin structures that are just hardly noticeable, but leave a nice touch to the place. Once everything was there, I gave the floor a dirt texture and that part was finished. Moving back to the temple, I fixed the wall textures and made them more bumpy. I then added the palm trees, a little bit of fog, and with some final touches, it was done. Now that it was finished, we had to get the key shard. Trying to navigate these biomes is one thing, but worrying about taking a wrong step and ending up with spiders or poisonous frogs ready to kill me just doesn't make me feel very good about this. But either way, we had to do it. I think this was totally worth it. This render looks absolutely stunning. I specifically made sure to up the render quality for these images because in my last video, I noticed some imperfections in the animations, and because the trees and other plants would make this scene so detailed, I wanted everything to look its absolute best. The only downside is how long it took per frame to render. It was taking 8 minutes per frame for this scene specifically. I would actually consider this to be a win, but I've always wanted to create an environment like this, and now I had the perfect excuse to, so thanks in a way. Also, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to give a like and subscribe. Now it's time to move on. Growing up, I was a huge Mario Kart player. I would spend hours racing on the tracks, playing in the battle modes, and trying to drive over the waterfall without falling into the endless pit in Yoshi Falls. But the reason I tell you this is because there was another game that impacted my childhood, Minecraft. I can say with confidence that most of you watching this have played Minecraft before. It's one of the biggest games to ever exist. You can create anything you want in the blocky environments, from houses to mansion to these stupid redstone creations. Minecraft also features beautiful environments and landscapes you can travel through. This game probably had a huge effect on my childhood. And for our next stop, we'll be visiting a small village where the second shard landed. This render looked absolutely sick. Just check it out for yourself. and you know I had to check what was in the blacksmith chest. That's another key down. We've got only 3 more to go. For the next location, the shard will be taking us into a spooky forest. When deciding what to make, I really took interest in a haunted scene. Mario Kart is home for many scary or ghostly-like courses, so I thought this would be very fitting. The only problem was that these courses all revolve around the ghostly character called the Boo. These boos aren't scaring anyone. To fix this, I removed the boos completely and decided to go with a dark forest theme. And I can actually turn on the fogginess, which I don't think Mario Kart does too much. I found these trees online which I thought were the perfect addition to the scene. I've never made anything like this before, so it was definitely a challenge. Finally, the brick road takes you on a path to a creepy house in the middle of nowhere. This render looked really cool. I think the brick road is a very nice touch. I couldn't get the fog to work exactly how I wanted it to, but the render still looks incredible. But let's get out of here quickly. I don't really want to be hanging out here for much longer. For our second to last shard, we will be headed to the moon. How did a shard land on that moon? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. Now, Mario Kart has actually been to the moon a few times. He's put people in jail there, almost died from lava, and even watched his love get married to a huge evil turtle. That's pretty wild. But I thought it would be very cool to see Mario driving on the moon, and I think it did look cool. Let me know what you guys think. Has 4 of the 5 shards he needs. We got 1 more left. All this searching is making Mario tired though. After all, he hasn't eaten in days. I know it seems like Mario can do anything because you can play as him for hours and hours and not even need to stop for a rest or even some water. But that's because you never see what Mario's doing off camera. If he can maintain that weight after all he does, there's a little something going on. We decided to head to none other than Coconut Mall. If you played the Wii version of Mario Kart, then I bet you remember this level. It's one of the most iconic tracks and his song is still used to this day. Seriously, I can't even go a month without hearing this song. Unfortunately, there was no realistic model of this track, so I had to make it all myself. For this model, I decided to go with the updated version of the course because I think it's more complete, and definitely not because I couldn't get the old model to work correctly, and I'm not just too lazy to try and figure out how it works, and the fact that I already downloaded the new model before I even realized it. Now that I've got the model, I started by swapping out the palm trees with the ones I had downloaded from earlier. Little did I know how time-consuming and repetitive the rest of the remodeling would be. I spent the whole day piece by piece changing the textures of the models to ones that look better. It was a challenge staying in my seat for hours when my legs are ready to run out of my chair. It started off well with me first doing the outside. I changed the front building textures, added a couple of extra details, and spruced up the front. Next, I fixed the road texture by changing it to a higher quality concrete. Because I have hardly played this course, I had no idea how many things were inside this place. It's not like it's supposed to be a mall or anything. It was one thing to the next swapping textures, maybe replacing it with a higher quality model. So if you think any of these final renders are cool, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But the final render looks amazing. It has got to be one of my favorite recreations ever. It's got the escalators, the palm trees, and even a crowd walking around. Well, there actually was no crowd, and since I had a short time frame for this, I was not modeling and animating tons of different people, so I decided to make everyone me.
Bro, you see my... Oh, it's not what it looks like. How did I catch you lagging this bad? Bro.
But enough of this, let's take a look at the final render. I'm super happy with how this one turned out. I love how inside looks so lively and friendly. I would love to visit this place in real life. Luckily, this is also where one of the pieces was located. Pretty cool, right? So Mario grabbed the final piece and it was on to Bowser. Mario made his way to the front entrance. There were a couple of obstacles in his way, but he reached Bowser. The fight with Bowser was tough. He wasn't gonna let the princess go that easily. Mario put up a fight, but it seemed Bowser was too strong. It was then when Mario remembered one thing, the button that sent Mario away from the beginning. Mario was gonna send Bowser away this time. The problem is he couldn't hit the button and reach the princess. He had to sacrifice his car. It worked. Bowser was then dropped and Mario safely retrieved the princess. Thanks everyone for watching this. If you enjoyed this video, I have some other great animations that look absolutely incredible. For now, subscribe, goodbye.